Good afternoon, evening, or morning, whatever time you're listening to this. Today I'm talking with Christopher Waller, who goes by Chris. Chris is between careers and is a former career advisor and military veteran recruiter, as well as being a Navy veteran himself. I had the pleasure of serving and working with Chris on board the USS Carl Vinson between 2008 and 2013. I had the pleasure of seeing him as a young man entering the service and grow into a leader and someone of influence who is building other great leaders and his own life's wealth, as well as his family and fellow veterans and sports enthusiasts.
Hey, Chris, how you doing today?
I'm doing well. How are you, sir?
Doing great. Yeah, doing great out here. I'm out here in Lakeside, California. Where are you at right now? Where's everybody picture you right now?
Oh, well, right now I wish I was in California with you, but I'm currently in McKinney, Texas. That's probably 45 minutes from the metropolitan of Dallas. So it's like a suburban area of Dallas, Texas.
Oh, very good. So how did you end up in Texas?
Man, how did I end up in Texas? So
yeah,
the way it happened, man, it's kind of like I was attacked by aliens, and they came and they took me out and they brought me here, man, and dropped me off, and I'm trying to find my way out of here, man.
Right.
But no, seriously, I left the military in 2000 and I think it's 2015. I got out, and I was in Point Mugu, California, and had to make a choice. Everybody knows that California is quite expensive, so I wanted to stay, but I didn't know what I wanted to do. Well, actually, I did know what I wanted to do, but I knew that I couldn't afford to live there. So I had to go down in different other regions, cities, states, and figure out what I want to do next. And the choices were Chicago, Atlanta, and Dallas. And so I started to look at each state, and I said, which state can I get the most benefit out of as a veteran? And Illinois wasn't too great. Neither was Georgia. And then I looked at Texas, and it offered a whole lot of things for veterans. And so me and my wife and my kids, we kind of left California off faith, because both my wife and myself, got out with no job, very little income, very little money, and we just made a trip here, and the big man upstairs has blessed us to survive out here. And I think it's been a blessing, because dealing with the circumstances of COVID, we're still kind of doing well, although neither one of us aren't necessarily working right now. So
okay.
God is good. So
okay. Yeah, so Texas, you kind of choose it. You say, okay, I like these benefits here, so I'm going here, and we're going to make it happen. Figure it out when you get there, right?
Right. Plus, we both are believers in Christ, so this is sort of a state that prides itself on religion. I'm not a huge fan of religion. I'll just say that, but I'm a big believer in God, and so you get a lot of different options out here in Texas as far as what kind of faith you want to study. So
okay, that makes sense. Definitely makes sense. I hear you on the religion part too. It's something we can cover later on if you want to. That's definitely
that's fine.
That kind of covers a big broad area, big broad brush.
Right.
Multiple facets about that idea too. So okay.
Absolutely.
Awesome, yeah. So Texas. Why don't you tell us a little bit more about yourself, and how did you get there? I understand how you got to Texas, but how did you get to the Navy, and before that, kind of give us a quick story about yourself, or a long story, whatever you're comfortable with sharing. So people can get to know you a little more.
Okay, so I grew up in Chicago, South Side. Anybody knows about Chicago, knows about, crime and, scandalous politics, a lot of different things. And, I lived there up until the age of 22. I started out by, going to school, went to college, but I didn't take it seriously. I wasn't getting up on time for classes and just didn't take it serious. And so after one semester, I went to Aurora University. So after one semester, I was on academic probation because, I had a GPA under 2.0. And so they said, hey, if you can't get your act together, we're going to put you out, right? So I didn't even allow them to put me out. I just made the choice to say, you know what, I'm not taking it seriously. I'm taking advantage, my scholarship I'm not using it correctly, and, just not being serious about this. So I took the steps to just kind of get out of it prematurely. And so I did that, and then I started working little retail jobs, working at Foot Locker. I worked at Radio Shack. I don't know if anybody, these Gen Z generation, I don't even know if they know what Radio Shack is.
Yeah.
You probably can't find one these days.
No, I haven't seen it for a while.
Yeah. So I worked there, and, selling batteries to elderly people, cell phones,
Yeah.
a little hustle and bustle, and I did that for a while. And, I just frankly got tired of it. I said, man, I don't know if I'm make anything of myself by doing this. I have no desire to go back to school right now. I do want to go back at some point, but my head was just, I need to leave. I need to get out. I need to get away from Chicago. And I wasn't going to go at first. I had, I done went through every branch. I talked to every recruiter prior to going to the Navy, Marines, the Army, and even a couple times, I had a delayed entry program date for getting signed off to go, and I declined and said I wasn't going to go. But one day, my grandmother, my late grandmother, Edith Waller, she said, "You got to do something with your life, and one thing about you is the military would be good for you because it'll teach you some structure, and it'll teach you how to not give up. And it'll teach you how to just go through with things, because I don't really go through with things a lot. And, in the military, you don't have a choice. You're going through boot camp. You don't want to be that guy who gets put out early. So that was the best advice she gave me, rest her soul. And I took that leap of faith. And so October 2006, I departed down the Great Lakes, which was probably about 35 minutes from Chicago, and made my way to, the naval station. And I was like, when I got off that bus, I said, what did I just get myself into, man?
Yeah, I bet.
So that's really, how I, got into the military, just looking for other opportunities. And, I think it was kind of the best decision I made, because, I don't know where I would be if I decided to keep working at Radio Shack and selling batteries in Chicago,
Yeah, probably nothing these days. It's probably you have to pick a different store, which even those are closing down,
Yeah. I don't know if that covers the question. I probably kind of said a whole lot, maybe too little. I don't know.
No, that's great. Yeah, maybe you could tell us more about the scholarship that you had. What kind of scholarship? Were you sports scholarship or what kind?
Well, it was actually an academic scholarship. I was actually a pretty good high school student. Had I was top 50 in my class, and this is a big high school, a city high school out of like 400. And I just I had pretty solid grades, and they offered me a little amount, and I had to cover the rest. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, they gave you enough just to get you interested, huh?
Yeah, I did. However, play high school basketball for a couple of years, and I even played for the legendary Simeon Career Academy for those who don't know, this is a school that has breeded quite a few NBA athletes, most notably Derrick Rose, Jabari Parker, Kendrick Nunn, just a long list of guys who are actually in the NBA today. So, but I wasn't good enough to make it. So, I was kind of the guy that was on the bench all the time, passing out towels.
Just tapping tiles with your foot? Is that what you mean?
Yeah. Just I wasn't good enough, man. I was competitive, but not to the degree of going pro. So.
Okay. That's funny. Do you remember your coach?
Yeah, the legendary Bob Hambert. He rest his soul. He passed away.
What was the name?
Bob Hambert.
Oh, Bob Hambert. Okay. Bob Hambert, yeah. Good. Do you remember any words of wisdom that Bob taught you, Coach? You call him Coach Hambert, or what did you call him, Coach?
Coach Hambert. And his words of wisdom was, if you miss a layup, you'll get hit with the paddle. Because he was really a disciplinarian. So he didn't want the guys on the team to just play ball. He wanted to teach them how to have discipline. And coming from big cities, these kids in the inner city, a lot of us need that. And guys love that because maybe they weren't getting discipline at home. So, it was bigger than just kind of discipline us. I think his thing was, give 100% effort with whatever you do in life. It doesn't matter what you do. You're gonna give the best effort, or there's gonna be consequences behind that.
Okay. And did you find that he was kind of right, or it seems like he knows what he was talking about?
Oh, he definitely knew what he was talking about. I think that's the problem with the world today. A lot of people lack discipline, and
okay.
But that's a whole nother conversation, and we'll probably get into that as well.
Yeah, definitely. Discipline is one of those things that people got to get a hold of somehow. Either some way you got to get something disciplined in your life and consistent. I think discipline and consistency are kind of very similar, but
absolutely.
Right, that's good. So he gave you some words of wisdom in there. Do you find yourself still using those words of wisdom?
I slacked off. I kind of gotten off the boat a bit, but I always kind of reel myself back in and realize that those things are important. So I'm not as consistent as I would like to be, but I'm always striving to become better every single day.
Very good. Yeah, that's all you got to do, right? Just 1% better. I've heard before.
Who'd you hear that from?
Well, one of them we talk about. We were talking earlier about Tim Ferriss and Joe Rogan. Those guys, I hear it from them. Different books. I believe there's even a book out there called 1%. The idea coming 1%. So if I do 1% each day, in 100 days, I'll improve that skill or that technique or that whatever it is, 100% over 100 days. So think what you can do in a year, to just get that 1% each day. I'm embarrassed to say the other day I haven't done push-ups for a long time. I went out there and I was doing some push-ups, and I could only get 5 solid ones and had to take a break.
Hey, so there's nothing wrong with that, man. There's nothing wrong with that.
Exactly. So I get 1% better is what, like one extra push-up a day for 100 days. I should be doing 100 push-ups in 100 days. So.
And I do remember that you were a workout guru on Carl Benson, man. I remember how, man, you really transformed your body in one deployment, man. And it was amazing to see that, man. And you was a workaholic, man. Yeah. But I know sometimes we go through those moments in life where we kind of give up a little bit. But the good thing of the beauty of being a person and being an individual is every day there's a new opportunity to change who you were yesterday.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, each day new time. So that's excellent. Yeah, those years were good. That was that good deployment. Lost about 60 pounds and it felt good. So trying to get back to to that era, at least.
You will. You will.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's got to use these things like your coach. Picture coach that back there about to paddle me. But
yeah, always get that, man. You miss a layup, you're gonna get the paddle. So the layup could be anything, eating too much or drinking too much. I refer that I like to look at life as like if you watch sports, you can take a lot of analogies from sports and apply it to life. You got in baseball, there's 3 strikes. You hit a base hit. Today, tomorrow you hit a grand slam. Tomorrow you get a double. Every day you have an opportunity to increase your batting average and increase your life. If you just like athletes, they go through ups and downs, and you gotta ride the wave, man. And nobody in life is ever going to be consistent. You're gonna have those slumps, but as long as you're trying to go for that home run each and every day, man, you'll knock it out.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I love that. That's really good, man. I'm glad you had him in your life there to kick you in the pants at the time you needed it. It seemed like another time you got a kick in the pants was from your late grandmother Edith, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. Rest her soul, man. She's an amazing woman, man, and one of the toughest women you'll ever find, man.
Yeah. What do you remember about her as far as your upbringing?
Well, honestly, man, the thing about her is she took on the responsibility of, kind of like developing and nurturing all of her grandchildren. And in addition to her grandchildren, children around the neighborhood as well, because, she was actually a babysitter. So she was more than a babysitter. She was a lot of things. She was a teacher, an educator, but she had, mostly babysit. She would babysit a lot of kids, and all the neighborhood kids knew her. She looked after all the kids. She just had some type of structure for us, and made sure that we were doing what we were supposed to do. If we were doing the wrong thing, she would let us know. She was just a tough woman, man. Tough woman. And that was my favorite woman, of all time.
Very good. Yeah, well, I appreciate you talking about her and sharing that. Did she grow up there in Chicago?
Well, she's actually from Georgia, Augusta, Georgia, and I think she kind of moved to Chicago, and probably before Chicago, she moved to Detroit, and then from Detroit, then she moved to Chicago. So
Detroit, yeah, another tough city, huh?
Mhm.
You remember what word she used? You said she helped you get into the military in a way, like kind of got you moving. Do you remember the words she used specifically, or any kind of methods other than obviously the teacher, being a structured and it seems like you had a lot of respect and respecting her opinion and her authority and her mentorship. Do you remember any of those kind of like specific words she said that made you decide, okay, this is it, I'm going to the Navy or the military in general?
I can't remember vividly too many words. I do remember a lot of phrases that she would call me. She would call me the unconcerned boy. Like, she would say little things like that. She would call me poor little rich kid. A lot of those things, like funny little moments, just let you know that, you shouldn't, value so stupid stuff. Poor little rich kid, that analogy was basically, take pride in everything that you have, and growing up, I had to start working very early, man. I started working at 13 because I lived with my mom, and my mom wasn't able to take care of me like she wanted to. So, I had to take care of myself, and I started to make my own money. And I would buy stuff, and I would just not appreciate the things that I buy. I would kind of like buy a pair of shoes and mess them up. And most people clean their shoes. I just bought a new pair. I didn't clean them. You know, I just bought a new shirt or a new pair of pants if something happened. You know, and that's where I got the phrase "poor little rich kid," because you know I don't have the money that I think I have, but the way I act, I have that mentality that you know I can do whatever I want, and so that's one thing that kind of stuck out with me is, you know, take pride in the things that you get. And I'm still working on that to this day. I still have a lot of issues with appreciating the things that I have. If I could be completely honest, you know, I'm working on that.
Yeah, that's one of the things. Yeah, we all got those things to work on.
Yeah.
But at least if you recognize it, you know, like naming the demon kind of takes some of the sting away from it and let you see it as it is, you know.
Yeah. And I think that's the thing, you know, being honest with yourself, and you know, you can have a million quotes and you can have a million things that somebody taught you, but if you can't apply it to your life, then it doesn't, it's meaningless, you know. And so, I'm a big quote guy, just like you are, and I remember, you read a lot of books on deployment and talk about some of the things you learned, and it's great to have those things. But it'll be even amazing if we could have those things and kind of use it to our leisure, man, because those are weapons. Those are weapons that we can use, and we can be a lethal force if we use half the stuff that we read. I'm sure you read a lot of books. I've read a lot of books. You know, we both like to read, but it doesn't mean anything if we can't use that information, you know.
You got to apply it, yeah. It's like the book The Secret, you know. People, you ever hear of that book?
Oh, yeah. I've read that a couple of times.
Yeah, for sure. That's one of those books where everybody says, no, you can't just wish it to be there, or, you know, just think it into the ether. You can't just make it produce. And I think they're missing the point.
Yeah.
That's part of it. You know, they got to have that mindset that the book is
right.
teaching you the mindset of it, and then you got to take that mindset and take it and apply it on a daily basis, and you know, keep taking those steps, you know, taking you towards what you're looking for.
Absolutely. And to talk about The Secret, there's another book that I recently read called The Power of the Subconscious Mind, and it's just like The Secret, where it talks about how the subconscious mind is so dangerous because it's kind of the foundation of everything, you know. So whatever you put in that subconscious mind, it's going to go into that conscious way of thinking. So we got unconscious, subconscious, and conscious. A lot of us are living unconsciously, but some of us are living subconsciously. And so that when we have those thoughts in our subconscious mind, they go in from subconscious to conscious, and a lot of our activities come from the subconscious mind, you know. So I think it's important to data dump some of the bad stuff that you have in your mind, your subconscious mind, you know, so that you can get the conscious mind going and you can kind of become a better human being.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. I took some kind of course like that where they were drawing pictures. Guys like me, I like pictures, so they drew these pictures.
You're a visual learner like myself.
Yeah, visual learner. So the pictures really helped. They drew two stick figures with the subconscious mind and the conscious mind, and kind of showed probably a lot of similar things from that book, kind of how it works. Basically, when you're reading or whatever, a lot of that is going in the subconscious. And then you have these thoughts that just kind of come up. So when you're reading, or books like The Secret or The Subconscious Mind or the Bible or any books you're reading, they're basically fertilizing that subconscious mind with lots of information. And some people say, well, I don't remember none of that stuff, you know. And I say, well,
right.
I don't remember half the stuff I'm reading in the book either. However, everything I put in there is in there. Nobody can take it out.
Right.
And when I need it, if I need it, when I need it, it arises as a thought. And then it's up to me to take the action of that thought. So the more information you can load up your subconscious mind with, the better, right? So again, it's just like feeding the wolf analogy. You can pick which beast to feed.
Right.
So you feed the one beast with just constant nonsense. That beast is gonna be there when it's, that's the subconscious mind is gonna feed you that information, and that's how
Right.
you're gonna take your actions. But if you fill it with good stuff, then those thoughts will arise and you take action. That's how you're gonna improve your own environment, is through those
Absolutely.
those ideas
Absolutely.
that are embedded in your subconscious mind.
Right.
Conscious mind is the conscious mind is, if you put in another analogy, I love analogies too. So the subconscious mind, I heard, is a lot like a supercomputer, right? It's very fast.
Right.
I'll just say terabyte. I'm sure it's much faster, but it'd be like a terabyte connection. So the subconscious mind can just intake billions and billions of bits of information and store it, right? It knows what to do with it. It's infinite. So it can take everything you give it, and it stores it where it wants it. And the conscious mind is a lot like the calculators back in the 70s.
I was going to actually say the Navy computers.
Yeah, that's a good
any type of military computer.
Exactly. Yes, that's the perfect one. Yeah, because those computers are so slow. It takes forever. We were just laughing the other day because we were like, you know what? It takes 1 hour to get 15 minutes worth of work done on a computer at work.
Right.
Yeah. So that's a conscious mind. It's very slow. It's very concrete. It doesn't really process information fast in or out. So it can only take small chunks of information, and it's basically offering them to you in a way, if you're thinking of it as an offering, I guess, but it's basically offering it to you in a thought. And when that one thought that goes in your head at that time is all you can process. So that processes it, and it's up to you. You're going to do it or not do it. So yeah,
that's good.
So it sounds like you got a lot of good structure. Got lucky that you had a grandmother there and a coach, somebody, and there's probably others out there that kicked you in the butt when you needed it. Got you in the military. So tell us a little bit about your military time, if you don't mind. You joined the Navy. I know that for certain. So you were in the Navy. Like we said, we served back in Carl Vincent. So I knew you during that period of time when you first came in, right? That was your first duty station, if I remember.
Yes.
Yeah, so you came there as a brand new sailor right out of OSA school. And, lots of great things happened there. Were you there 5 years? From what year did you get there?
I think I got there
2008.
Man, let me see. I'm getting old. I can't even remember that. Let's see. I think it was it might have been 2007. I was there for 5 years, about 4 or 5 years. So
yeah,
it was like from 2007 to 2012. So
yeah. So I know you got there during the yard period, the infamous RCOH time.
Back in Newport News.
Yeah, Newport News. Yep.
Oh man, tell me.
2008.
Don't take me back to that, man. I don't want to go back to Virginia, man.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I try and avoid it myself.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's funny. But I don't mind. Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I wish I could say good things about that state, man, but I don't have anything. I don't have anything to say about that place.
Yeah, I don't either. I was glad to live there 1 year, and I've probably only been back maybe 3 times since then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's definitely a different kind of place for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Why don't you tell us more about the Navy if you want? Like, you don't have to cover the details, or you can if you want to. But basically, what was your experience like in the Navy with the Carl Vincent, also with your next command, and then any lessons learned, things that you might want people to know that could be thinking about the Navy, maybe the good and the bad, because they got to know both sides, right? But Just tell us a little bit about that time for you, if you want to.
Pretty cool experience from the standpoint of being on several deployments and being involved in some of the stuff that we were involved in. I think that was cool, traveling to different countries and seeing the world, being able to meet people from all walks of life on one big floating device. I think that was cool. That's the good stuff. The bad stuff was, again, just not having the discipline. You would think, going through boot camp and some of the stuff I learned from my grandmother and my coaches, that I would use that going into it. I was still kind of reckless, in the early days, in the beginning, and not taking it serious. I got caught up in a couple incidents. One was the ARI early on in my career, which I regret, and it kind of set me back. I wish that never happened, but I think I never recovered after I had got that. I never was the same again. But it was a wake-up call for me for sure because, in the Navy you get several of those and you're out. I think it's 2 now.
Yeah.
But,
pretty tough.
Yeah, so, it set me back. And the reason why I got it, I can make up a lot of excuses, but I was hurt during that time because I had lost my grandmother.
Yeah.
And I didn't know how to control myself, man, and I was kind of sad and, hurt a lot. And so I would just kind of, go to the thing that most people go to, drinking.
Yeah.
And, I had one too many drinks one time and,
Right.
got pulled over and, got pulled over and got arrested. The command found out and it just kind of set me back. Luckily, I didn't lose my rank, but I had that target on my back. You never want to be that guy where the whole command and the division looks at you and you got this big red sticker looking like a clown, So, it set me back. It changed me. And I wasn't the same on the Carl Vinson, and I did, it was so bad I made second class, but I couldn't make it. I couldn't advance because I got disqualified because I didn't have a clearance. So they scored my test and I passed. But because I didn't have a clearance, I wasn't really an OS at the time.
Oh, man.
So
yeah.
So I did that, and I got out, and I had orders to Point Magoo, Point Wanimi, and I did 3 years there, and they were okay, It was average, we were basically working with Nav Air, and basically checking to make sure that they could launch missiles and test missiles out. Raytheon would have, Raytheon was right next door to our command, and they would test a lot of missiles. And I did that for a few years, and I decided, hey, look, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to do something else. And I kind of wish that I probably would have sat on it a little bit longer before I made that decision. But I didn't. So I guess, to be honest, it was average. It was pretty average to experience the military.
Yeah.
And I got out for my own personal reasons, which I kind of regret now. But you can't go back on the past. You just got to move forward and do what you got to do to make the most of your life. So.
Yeah. Any big lessons from the Navy that you remember? Like if you took the whole experience overall, what would you say might be the one big lesson you learned, let's say, out of everything, or multiple lessons if you have them?
I guess I'll have I like to use quotes and phrases and metaphors. And honestly, man, what's the slogan? Did the Navy have a slogan a while back? Accelerate your life.
Yeah.
Right. I think it's the opposite, man. I think the slogan should be pace yourself.
Okay.
Because when you're a young sailor and you get on that boat and you get access to a check on the 1st and 15th, and you get on the boat and you're traveling and you're meeting people and you're doing all kinds of stuff, man, you kind of hit the ground and you go fast. And sometimes you're not even aware of what you're doing. But the smartest sailors are the ones that pace themselves, and they go in there and they're intentional. Going back to talking about the conscious and the subconscious, they're intentional with what they're trying to do. They're pacing themselves. Hey, I'm using this. I may not be in here for long, but if I'm here, I'm going to make the most of this, and I'm going to work hard to try to use what the Navy has to offer, and I'm going to give the Navy something as well. And those are the smart sailors, the ones that just kind of go in and kind of move and move and move. They find themselves out with no plan. So the slogan I would use for anybody who's trying to get in the military, pace yourself, man. Pace yourself and assess and analyze every situation, when you're there.
Okay. That's good. That's a good lesson. I mean, so something came out of it for you. That's good. Even an average, let's say an average time in the military, it wasn't the greatest or the worst, but it was a time that you applied yourself. You did something bigger than yourself, which is scary in itself. Given like, hey, I'm gonna put myself out there. You're literally putting your life on the line. Even if you never end up in that kind of situation, you put your life on the line for something bigger than yourself. If you got out of there on honorable conditions, that's admirable, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just from me, for sure, I appreciate your service and everything that you've done in there. Yeah, for sure. It's so important to make sure people know. Yeah, thank you. That's something that we gotta make sure everybody knows that we appreciate that. Especially I'm retired now, so I appreciate everybody that's in now, and people that are gonna join, and people that joined and did that, and the families along with it. Families got a tough life as military families. It's not just the soldier, sailor, marine, or airman. It's the family, the immediate family, the wife or husband and kids, and also parents, aunts, uncles, grandparents. So it affects a lot of people. So for sure, appreciate your experience in there.
And like people always say, there's a price for freedom. Most civilians will never understand that. You pay a price for freedom.
Yeah.
Nothing is ever free. You're going to pay a price. And when I think back, I look back on that, and everybody that put on that uniform, there's a price you pay.
Yeah, it doesn't always end up. The price isn't always known. It's not always seen like you see. Okay, you didn't lose your life, but there was a lot of sacrifices along the way that the family made and that you made. That's really not talked about a lot. So it has a big impact on family for sure. I see that even in my own family these days. We see a lot of different impacts of 25 years of service deployments and getting out and everything. So it's definitely something you gotta learn and talk about and process constantly and figure out what did you learn from it and what's going to be next. So you talked about an ARI, their alcohol related incident, right? That's, if I remember, that's what it stood for, right?
Yes.
Okay. Would you like to talk about that a little bit? Like what I'm interested in is, did you learn anything from your incident specifically?
Yeah, I definitely learned something. I learned, it's dumb to just drink and drive, period.
Yeah.
For a lot of different reasons, but most importantly, man, I guess I'm glad I did get pulled over, and I'm glad I'm still here because, I could have ended up killing someone, or I could have ended up dead myself. So,
yeah,
God was definitely watching over me, and, as a young guy, man, you look back on it and you're upset because you got pulled over, and you get, it's always crazy how people get upset when they're doing wrong. It doesn't even make sense to me. You get upset when you get arrested or you're doing something wrong that you have no business doing. You can't get upset with anybody, man. You gotta be thankful for those moments when you get caught, because sometimes those things are life changing. Those things are life changing, because if you never get caught, you're gonna keep doing this stuff, and eventually you're gonna get caught, and you're gonna pay the price. You're gonna pay the price where you'll never be the same again. And so it's a good thing I got caught, man. It's a good thing that I got caught, because I learned my lesson, and that lesson is, just be responsible. Be responsible, and always think about. It goes back to, I'm gonna keep referring to the conscious, subconscious, unconscious. Yeah. That was an unconscious type of thing. Just decide to have drinks and then drive. A conscious person would know that, hey, what are the stakes? If I'm drinking, the stakes are likely that I can get involved in an accident, or I can kill someone, Yeah. And I remember, I don't know if you remember, we were on the ship. You remember there was an incident that happened where we had this big safety stand down because some sailors ended up dying from drinking and driving.
Yeah, oh yeah. I remember a few of them, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So,
I remember a couple guys in our division.
I remember Hess. It was Hess and a couple other guys.
Yeah, those guys shooting fireworks and all this crazy stuff, yeah. Yeah, I remember that incident. That was pretty scary. That was right before Thanksgiving, yeah.
Right.
And they skipped the stand down that we were all supposed to go to and left early. So they were UA. There was a bunch of crap they went through, yeah. And then I remember the guy in Brazil. We pulled into Brazil, and the guy, I can't remember his name. We pulled into Brazil. He went out there and got drunk and got in a fight with, I'm pretty sure, some Brazilian dudes or somebody. Another crazy incident there. So, unfortunately, that's kind of prevalent in the military. To run into these. I had my own, several different incidents. Even initial DUI when I was in the Marines, young, not even 21 yet. I was probably like 19, drinking and I didn't even get pulled over. All I did was I was drinking in the back of the car as we were driving, and we got pulled over because the guy driving passed the sheriff, and then when he passed, the sheriff pulled us over, and we had to wait probably 3 hours for the state police to bring their breathalyzer. So the breathalyzer got there. He breathalyzed the guy that was driving, and he was under .08. So this guy got back in the car and said, hey, the cop said if somebody else drives, we can keep going. We were going to a club in like Wilmington or something like that in North Carolina. Yeah, so I'm like, well, you know what? I've been back here not drinking for 3 hours. Even though I've been drinking all day, my mind, unconscious mind was like, hey, you can do it. So I volunteered and I got the driver's seat. It was a Mustang, standard, stick shift. And the state cop was behind us still. We were still side of the road, So when I went to pull out, I popped the clutch, so it kind of like peeled out, and threw a few rocks backwards and hit the state cop car. He turned his lights on, and I instantly pulled right back over. He got me out of the car, breathalyzed me, and I was at .08.
Yeah.
Put me in handcuffs and took me to jail. So, that's one of them things.
Hey, that's why I say, hey, we gotta pace ourselves, man.
Yeah.
And that's easy. That's easy to look at it now and say that, but when you're young, man, and if you don't have that, man, you're gonna find yourself making a lot of mistakes in life.
Yeah. Yeah, but like I said, I'm thankful for it. Even though it sucked because my job in the Marines at the time was driving trucks.
Right.
I got my license taken away for 6 months, and the biggest that was a small price to pay. The big price for me at the time was $500 fine. It was a different day back in the '90s,
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, now it'll cost you $15,000 for probably more. Probably cost you a job too now, so, and not just for military, but civilians. So
yeah, and 500 back then was like Bill Gates money,
yeah. Plus I was like an E2, so I had to. It took me 6 months to pay that off anyway. So
wow.
Yeah, it was definitely a life-changing event. Even though it didn't stop me from doing reckless stuff, I always thought, okay, I'm about to drive, but I've been drinking, so what should I do? And I probably did it again a time or two. Got lucky, but so you could say maybe I didn't learn, but it definitely looking back now, like wow. So yeah, we all go through those kind of weird incidents, but at least you learn something, and if not,
and the good thing is
you have something to teach.
And the good thing is we're able to sit here and talk about it, versus, we could not be here, man. We could be
exactly.
We could be dead and gone, man. So, God kept us here for a reason, man. And, just gotta, and that's the thing. God wants us to get it together and finally realize, hey, you got to make the right choices in life,
Yeah, for sure. That's good. Good thinking backwards and reminiscing too. Back in the old days, we could probably talk for several hours about Carl Vinson and lessons learned there. But
man, we got a lot of lessons learned there, man.
Yeah, maybe we'll do another whole podcast just Carl Vinson lesson learned.
That sounds good.
Yeah, that's good. So I'll transition a little bit here. So from what I understand, you told me kind of you're in transition between jobs, or what were you doing before this transition?
I was working for a state agency, Texas Veterans Commission, as a veteran career advisor, and my responsibilities was to help veterans who have barriers to employment. So that's anybody who, the barriers could be probably unemployed, recently incarcerated, probably low income, homeless, any type of barrier that they might have. My duty was to help them overcome those barriers, and then after they overcame those barriers, help them find employment.
Nice. Yeah, good. What did you like about that one?
I mean, it was. I think at the heart, man. I'm a kind of individual who likes to serve and give and help and assist. So it felt good to help those guys who needed help, and just point them in the right directions. Because I had to partner with different organizations and community partners to try to help them out, man. And I was so excited when these guys got jobs, even though they were making triple of what I made, man. I'm like, wow. I would help everybody, man, and just from the average general labor worker to somebody who's working in technology, But it was just exciting to see, hey, these guys actually got a job, So
yeah. And now you find yourself in transition.
Absolutely. Now I'm that guy that's looking for some help right now. Isn't that funny how that works, man?
Yeah, it's life. That's definitely an interesting twist to life. You say like
it is.
Here I am. So are you able? Are you finding yourself able to use any of the resources you use for others to help yourself?
Yeah, but it's different this time because my transition is what it is that I want to do, because there's plenty of resources available, but I'm trying to clarify my purpose in life, because it's easy to get a job, Well, not right now due to, circumstances that's happening. But the good thing about being in this period is there's the opportunity to sit back and stay calm and make that next move meaningful, because I left Texas Veterans Commission. They didn't fire me. I left because it was like, hey, I can't do this anymore. I don't want to do this. I want to do something else.
Yeah.
And it's like my grandmother, man. You find something and you stick with it, and that's something that I haven't done yet. And I forgive myself, because I think the purpose in life is to try to do as much as you can, so that you can finally find that one thing that you really enjoy doing, and I'm still looking for that. So I'm not using any of the resources right now, but I'm doing self-reflection. I'm trying to find out, hey, is this what I want to do? Is that what I want to do? And that's what I'm looking for right now.
Okay, that's good. That's respectable. You're out there trying to figure it out. So
yeah,
that's nothing wrong with that. Especially during these times, like you say, it's a tough time right now to figure out, or not figure it out, but it's a tough time to get into something, because there's a big shift in the economy, big shift in how people are dealing with COVID disease. Everything that was normal is now kind of up in the air. There's a new normal that we're having to navigate right now. So
yeah.
So it's definitely.
But you know what?
Odd time. Yeah.
Hey, we're here to talk about it, man. Despite what's happening right now, we're here to talk about it, man. And that's all you got to say, man. Whatever you're going through in life, if you're able to talk about it, that's a blessing, man. Because imagine not being able to talk about it, So we may be going through. It doesn't matter what we're going through, financial hardship, sick. If you're alive and you're able to talk about it, I think it's okay, man. It's okay, because you're here for a reason, and you got to just find out your reason.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, I like that. It's a good quote. That'll definitely stick with me there. If you're able to talk about it, it's a blessing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that one. Good, man. So you're in transition, looking for your purpose. Luckily, I got faith in you, and I got faith that all the work you've put in over the years, and all the books you've read, all the things, everything's in your subconscious. So these opportunities will pop up at the right time for you. You just have to take the action,
Thank you.
Yeah, that's
you,
one of those.
You as well, man.
Oh yeah,
you as well.
I appreciate it. Yeah, because it's so important to figure out what you want to do so you can be happy. It's if you don't.
Absolutely.
If you enjoy what you do, you never work a day in your life. So,
yes.
Yeah, you probably know the feeling of dreading going into work. You don't want that. So,
yeah. And, we can have a conversation about that. We can just talk about how many people we talk to. I've talked to people who made a lot of money and talked to people who haven't made a lot of money, man. And, a lot of them aren't happy. It's not the dollar amount. It's what you do that makes you happy,
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I think people, we live in a capitalism society where everybody is looking for this, they're looking for that, they're looking for this. The only thing you need to look for is your purpose, man, and let everything else take care of itself.
Yeah. So if you had a purpose, like if you knew what that purpose was, what do you think, how could I ask the question? What feelings do you have could be your purpose right now in life? You talked about helping people.
Honestly, there's a few things. I'm a sports fanatic. I enjoy sports. I enjoy sports because it's competition. It brings everybody together. It teaches you values. It teaches you discipline. It teaches you basic fundamentals. It's exercise. It's involved with exercising. So I think, my purpose, I'm considering studying a little bit about the health and fitness industry, and long term, hopefully become sports psychologist where I can,
Nice.
help athletes achieve the highest level that, when they're competing. So the next few months, I'm looking into taking some certification courses, personal training, nutrition, some of those things. And then after I finish that, get involved with the gym, learn about exercising, and then, from there, study a little bit about sports psychology so that I can maybe become a sports psychologist. So that's what I'm looking at right now. That's what's on my plate at the moment,
Good.
And hopefully, through everything, the man upstairs allows me to go into that,
Yeah, that definitely seems like something you'd be good at because that deep internal study that you do for yourself. So you're just like let's say we're all unique, but we're all human. So human nature is very similar within all of us. So knowing yourself is the beginning to being able to help the sports athletes kind of figuring out. That's what I'm thinking of sports psychology when I hear it. It's helping athletes kind of figure themselves out, and or if they're struggling through something, being able to help them cross those barriers. Does that sound kind of what it is you're looking at there? Is that kind of the gist of the sports psychology?
That's exactly what it is. And, not to just keep me in the box, but hopefully that I can help as many people as, I'm able to. I just picked sports psychology because I love sports. But if it's helping veterans, if it's helping elderly people, if it's helping youth, it doesn't matter. I just want to help people, because I think the world needs that, man. The world needs somebody to care for people. And I think a lot of us are struggling because we haven't unlocked our minds. Our minds is being controlled by a lot of propaganda, a lot of media, a lot of technology. We're all living in this unconscious state, man. A lot of us are just kind of mindlessly living, and I think we got to start to unlock our minds and be a dangerous force, man, and stop believing the media, stop believing what we see, and use our minds to figure it out, man. Because we're being controlled, and we don't have to be, man. We don't have to be controlled. If we just free our minds and we use our minds, we're able to be free and we're able to make conscious decisions and we're able to change this world that we live in. We put so much at stake on this upcoming presidential election, and that's just one man. And we're the people. We're the people that can change this country. Not one man. You know what I mean? He can set goals. He can set policies, but we're in control of changing those policies, man, because we're the voters. We're the voters, and we stand for it. And if we unlock, our brains and get off of this, white versus black or, whatever debates that we might have, we're all one people, man. We're all one people, and we unlock that and we tap into the truth and we tap into what's right and what's wrong, man. We'll be better, man. We'll be a better society, man.
Yeah, I hear you. That's good words of wisdom. Hopefully people are listening at this point. They'll pick up on that.
Yeah,
I like that. Good. And so during this transition time, and as you're looking around and seeing what's out there, do you have any systems or routines that you use on a daily or weekly, monthly basis? Anything that you find helps you kind of keep your mind focused? Honestly,
Matt, I don't, man, and I'm probably going to pick your brain for that because I believe that you're probably more of an expert with that, being in the military for 26 years. I'm pretty sure that, not to make assumptions, but I'm pretty sure you have more routines than I do. And I need help with that. If I can be completely honest, one thing I do is I wake up every day and I give thanks and I give gratitude for being up, and I read my daily word. Outside of that, man, I'm still looking for that routine and that system. So.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. Well, some of the things that I do, if I can tell you, I just recently told you I just bought this house, right? So one thing I found, it seems like we kind of have similar nature about us. One of the things that I found most useful to me was being able to, have you ever heard of Jocko Willink?
I haven't.
Navy SEAL
Can you
Commander.
elaborate on it?
Yeah, Navy SEAL Commander. He's out here in San Diego. He retired pretty close to the same time I did. I don't know him personally, but I know him through listening to podcasts, reading his books. He has a book called Extreme Ownership and several other ones. He has another book called The Dichotomy of Leadership. And he makes a couple other books. He makes a lot of these leadership books from a Navy SEAL's perspective. He was a commander for Task Force, I think it was Task Force Bulldog in Ramadi, in the Battle of Ramadi in Iraq. He was the Task Force commander for the Navy SEALs there. So he draws a lot of inspiration, he puts out a lot of inspiration, but he draws a lot of his lessons learned and a lot of his leadership from the Navy SEALs, but specifically that time that he was a Navy SEAL commander there in Iraq. And one of his favorite sayings is "win the morning." Right? He says you got to get up before your enemy because your enemy's getting up early. Your enemy's getting up early; they're ready to fight. And so, if you're waking up after the enemy, you're starting behind the curve already. So I took that to heart in one of his sayings, and I have it in my book. I have a daily calendar book that I keep, and one of his favorite sayings, I wrote it in there. I wrote it in there in May, and then I lost focus between May and beginning of August, right? So when I lost that focus, I didn't do this. This is one thing you can do: win the morning, right? So get up before your enemy. And you got to translate that enemy into your transition or your life right now. Whatever you want to apply that label. Since you were in the military, you understand that enemy thing, So that's that one thing. Waking up early, whatever early is to you. For me, it's 5 a.m. right now. And I'm going to push that back a little further over the next few weeks to 4:30, maybe back to 4 a.m. Because I found if I get up early like that, 5 a.m., I get up before everybody in the family. I'm up before people are up and about for the most part, and I get a chance to sit down. I can put stuff in my journal, stuff that's on my mind. I can get it out of my mind and put it on my journal. I can I got a planner by a guy that's out there. He lives out there in your area. Is Gary Keller. Gary Keller, if you have heard of him, he is part of Keller Williams. You ever hear of that realty group, Keller Williams?
I haven't.
Yeah, so it's a international realty business, right? So I'll send you some stuff about him too, but he has this idea about the one thing you can do. So that's the one thing. I try and win the morning by getting up. I have his calendar. I write the one thing that I can do for myself, and that is right now is my goal this year is to lose 100 pounds. I write the one thing is physical exercise or mental exercise each day. No matter what it is, I try and do that one thing. Everything else I don't have to get done. As long as I get that one thing done, I can feel fulfilled. If that makes sense. So that's that. That's one strategy I would offer you is, well, I guess two strategies. One, win the morning. So get up before everybody else at least 1 hour so that you have time to sit and write and think and plan the day. I write down that one thing, and then I write down the other things that I am going to accomplish during the day. And it might be, hey, the plumber's coming today, or this is happening. So there's certain things. My wife works these times. I write those in there. But also I write draw for 1 hour, or read for 30 minutes, or work out in the backyard, something like that. and then
Yeah.
it's only like 3 or 4 things, because I know I'm going to accomplish that one thing, which is either in some physical exercise or mental exercise. And it depends on, one day will be physical, one day will be mental. I know I'm going to accomplish those. The other things I'm probably going to accomplish unless something else comes up more important, but usually it doesn't. I look at my book throughout the day, and I see there, I wrote down that I'm going to draw pictures for 1 hour, practice drawing for 1 hour. I see an unchecked box. I sit down and I bust it out for 1 hour. I set my timer and I do it. And at the end of the hour, I close the book and I walk away. Yeah. So win the morning and put those things down. Yeah.
So you make it a priority to come up with 3 or 4 things, and you make sure that those things get done.
No, one thing. One thing is the priority. That's to get exercise. Okay. Yeah, either mental or physical. Everything else is, I want to accomplish these. So the idea is that I know I got to go to work. That's obvious. I have to go to work. Certain things have to happen that day. My wife is going to go to work. I know, we're going to have, let's say, a plumber come here and do some work. I know that's happening. I know that this thing is due today, so I'm going to turn that in. Those things, they're not necessarily goals because they have to happen. That's just life happening. Those are known things. I write them down so that I know maybe I have too many known things today, so I don't add in read for 30 minutes or something like that. But I always have that physical exercise or mental exercise. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah. So then if I know all I'm doing today is going to work, I know I'm still going to have 6 to 8 hours after work that I can do things that I would like to do that will enhance my goal. And so that would be drawing or organizing pictures, working on a podcast, stuff like that. So those are just some things. Those are like things I want to do that will enhance my life. But if I don't do them because of other things, that's okay. I'll just move them to another day. But I have to do that one thing.
And you know what? I had something like that a while back, but I never did it. But my thing was I would have a theme for each month. And I would have a theme and 3 things that I have to do each day that kind of aligns up with that theme. So let's say I say for this month I'm gonna work on kindness. Okay. I would look for 3 things each day that can kind of align with kindness. That's kind of what I had. I just didn't do it. It sounds like a good idea, I think, but for whatever reason, it just didn't get done. So
yeah, well, I mean, if it doesn't get done, maybe that's not effective for you. So
right.
Thinking of those things.
But I like what you just mentioned. Win the morning. I like that. I've heard that before. I've heard that quote before.
Yeah.
And I can definitely do it. It just requires that I go to bed on time. So.
Yeah, you'll be surprised if you. And his thing is too. At first you say, okay, well I'm going to get up at 5 a.m. So say, okay, well that forces you to just doing that one thing there forces you to alter your current plan. And when you alter your current plan, because right now it's you're in a comfortable mode maybe, or it's like complacency, not in a bad way, but just we all get complacent. And so by shifting that one frame of mind, saying I'm getting up at 5 a.m. no matter what, even if I screw up and don't go to bed till midnight, set your alarm for 5, and when it goes off at 5, you jump up and start moving. You instantly increase your confidence. Even if you just get up, sometimes I get up and just meditate for 20 minutes and and do nothing else. But at least I sit with my own thoughts for 20 minutes, just kind of just let everything process in my head. But I really work hard to get up early, even if I go to bed late. Do I do it 100% of the time? No, but I'm working back because the reason I said something about the move earlier was because I was doing it for a good 3-4 months, even during COVID, everything. I was doing this religiously, just taking time. There's that word, but sitting down, doing it. I was waking up. I was planning things, and things were happening. Then when we were in the process of buying the house, I let that take over, and I became more reactionary. So I was just reacting to life, which just caused the whole spiral. Started drinking more, started binge eating more, and the 20 pounds that I lost, I put it back on within 2 months. So over the past 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks, I've been cinching down again on what I know works for me, which is this method. And this method may not work forever, but at least for now, I know it's really helping me get back on track, put the podcast back together, get more stuff done around the house, practice those things that are enriching my mind, like drawing and reading, calling people, reaching out outside myself, talking to family members, talking to friends. So that's really, but that one big change of waking up early, and then you can throw in there, take a cold shower in the morning.
Oh yeah, I've heard that too. Kind of change up some things.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the best I got right now. That could help you set into a new routine, and it'll be your routine though. You'll see your things that help you. So
yeah,
but if
I'll
you
give it a
out,
try, man. Thanks.
Yeah, make it happen. And if you do it a day or two and see something, definitely contact me. Let me know how it's going, so you can maybe I can help you take it to the next level or something.
Roger that.
Yeah, for sure. I appreciate you asking me the question too. I like to help people as well, so I appreciate the opportunity to give you something.
See, you thought you were just gonna interview me? No, man. We one in the same, man. I got to come back with questions for you, man.
That's good. I like switching it around on me. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. I got another question. So what would you tell your 18-year-old self, if you, knowing everything you know now between 18 and, how old are you now, 30?
35.
35, so between 18 and 35, I'm sure you learned a lot. What would you go back and tell your 18-year-old self if you had the chance?
Oh, man, that's a good question. That's the best question that out of all of them. They all good questions, but this is a good one. And you gave me these questions, and I thought about it, man, but I haven't even come up with an answer for that one, man. But if I could guess it, I would probably say, man, just and this is hard coming from an 18-year-old, but I would say, be very methodical with every move, with everything that you're doing, because, at 18, you kind of just move. You're just moving. But you got to be methodical, and you got to be strategic, and you got to know how to do your research and your scouting report on everything that you're doing. And that's not just what you're doing, but the people that you engage with. You gotta have a good intuition about everything. The people you're around, the things that you're getting involved with. You gotta have a good intention, a good intuition about what you're getting yourself into. Because one thing about us is we think that life is forever. We think that we got a lot of years left on this earth, and we have no idea when our time is going to come. And from 18 to 35, they go by fast.
Yeah, it goes by pretty fast. Yep.
And you're going to pay a price if you're not careful with what you're doing now. So at 18, I probably would just say, again, pace yourself, man. Pace yourself.
Yeah, pace yourself, just like before you said, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. That's good. I like that. Be methodical and pace yourself.
Yeah.
That was good advice for an 18-year-old. I got two more questions for you.
Oh, that's fine, man. That's fine.
Two more questions. Do you have any favorite books or movies?
Oh, favorite book is, I guess, Emotional Intelligence by Daniel Goleman.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
I've read that one several times. And the favorite movie, honestly, my favorite movie of all time is, and I should know the title, but I don't, man. What's the movie with Robin Williams and Matt Damon?
Good Will Hunting.
There you go. That's my favorite movie there.
Yeah, that's a good one. Okay.
My favorite movie.
And yeah, it's a really good one. If you had a billboard, if you could put up a billboard anywhere in the world, where would it be and what would it say?
The specific region or country or
wherever you want it. Yeah, it could be in the Philippines if you want it.
See, I would say America with everything that's going on right now.
Okay. What would it say?
And it's probably corny and it's kind of cheesy, but
that's what
I would say.
They all are.
Yeah. I would say, hey, we're all one. Underneath our skin, we're all, we bleed the same.
Right.
And we think the same. We have the same organs.
Yeah.
Love each other. Love your brothers and sisters.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I like it.
That's corny, man. It's corny, but I think America needs it right now, man. I think we need that.
Yeah, we do.
We definitely need that, man. Yeah.
Yeah, we gotta figure this stuff out. And that's the way to do it,
Yeah, and I think it's people like me and you who really need to. I think we're the ones that can kind of, it's just two of us, but it's more people like us believe in humanity.
No, that's good. It's not corny. Anything that goes on a billboard somewhat has to be kind of like that, because that's what we're trying to get people to understand. So I appreciate your time on this for sure. And do you have any final words for the world out here that might be listening to you? Any final thoughts or words that you want everybody to hear, or how to get in touch with you if they would like to, if you want to. If not, that's okay too.
I really don't have any final words. Just again, I guess three taking points is pace yourself, tap into the subconscious mind, and love each other. That's it.
Right. Yeah, that's excellent. Yeah. All right. Well, I appreciate your time, Chris. I know there's a lot of gold nuggets within this conversation we just had, so definitely appreciate that for myself as well. Yeah, it's awesome to get to talk to you again after all these years. I'm glad you're doing well, making it through this COVID time.
I'm gonna interview you next, man, because
Okay.
One thing I remember about you, man, and this sticks with me to this day, and I always tell my wife this. I said, every time she's talking, I write things down. She's like, you don't have to do that. But I remember you, man. You had that little green book, and you would always write things down.
Yeah.
But that's a good thing to have, man, because we don't remember everything. But if we write it down, and that's what I do, I write a lot of quotes now, because I love quotes, man, because you can kind of like take that quote and you can kind of like just kind of analyze it and break it down, man. And, I think it's a good thing to write things down.
Yeah, for sure. Well, keep doing it. Yeah, it's definitely helped me over the years. I've probably got now 5 journals full of stuff, so I can go back anytime and see what I was thinking at the time, and if I was in a dark time, what was I thinking? And I probably also wrote down how I helped myself out of there, or somebody helped me out of there, or whatever. So let's keep doing it.
let's do a follow-up in a few months, man. And
sure, yeah.
You know, hopefully I can listen to this conversation. And I'm kind of moving forward in life, man. But I think this was good to kind of good. It's good for me, man. It's good for me so that I can kind of know more about myself. Because, you know, sometimes we think we know everything about ourselves, but if somebody's asking us questions, that's the opportunity to kind of play that stuff back and kind of, you know, be honest with yourself, man.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it was great. So if you need anything, though, as you're going through whatever, just let me know. If I can help, I'll help you. If not, I'll reach out to other people. That's great, though. I appreciate that. And,
all right, man.
Yeah, keep in touch. I'll
Good
let you know
talking to you, man.